Whoa. We just got a lot of data. We got a lot of analysis, a lot of opportunity, a lot of partnerships have been created. My first experience of Families USA was in 2003 when I was a California advocate and I came to the Families Conference and I discovered there are a lot of other people out there working on the same stuff we were working on in California, and I got a lot of ideas. Well, my friends, as the theme of this conference is health action, health care, health is in the balance in our nation. And as we just heard, 2020 makes a difference. Now, it's very tempting to just get caught, at least I can just get caught, in the numbers and the analysis and thinking all these detailed thoughts. But I want to tell you that each one of you is our secret weapon in a very nonviolent, thoughtful way in 2020. We would never do anything violent, but we might do a little mischief in the process, right? So I want to share with you a few keys for being able to keep going. Because I thought in March of 2010, when we passed the Affordable Care Act, I'd put a big check by our healthcare agenda and said we could move on. And here we are, 10 years later, fighting the same frustrating battles. But you know what? As we have heard, there's been a serious tipping point in our nation. People are changing. So I want to urge you to be our advocates that engage in personal conversation, because that is what makes the most difference. So I have some advice. First is know why you care about healthcare. Have a story. And for me, it's the story of Margaret Kistler, who died in 2012 before the Medicaid was fully expanded because she lost her job in the recession. When she lost her job, she lost her health care. Isn't that the most ridiculous thing in the nation? She lost her health care and she developed colon cancer. And by the time she was literally carried into the emergency room, she was terminally ill. On our first bus trip in Cincinnati, Jeannie, Margaret's sister, brought me Margaret's picture, and I've carried it with me ever since. Margaret fuels my passion for healthcare access for everyone, regardless of their employment, because it's the right thing to do for our nation. Margaret's dying at 54 was wrong. She was a contributing member of our society. She was a part of us. And isn't healthcare the most important us that we can speak about? So know who and why it is that you care about this. Step one. Step two is, I urge you to persevere in this process. It is a little annoying that we're still having these very same fights. But I'll tell you what, we've gotten good at them. Our arguments have consistently won the day. So let us continue with perseverance and support each other and stand strong and staying engaged. And if possible, going to Kentucky and making a difference. But stay engaged in the process. The second piece, that I would urge, or actually the third piece I would urge on you is please come with a bit of joy. Now, I know sometimes I get a little grim, a little frustrated, a little upset, a little angry, and then I say to my friends, come join us in this important fight. It's not exactly a good advertisement for our work. Have you noticed? So take the spirit of this conference, take the enjoyment of being together, take that peace into your life and bring the joy of knowing we're changing our nation. We have already changed our nation, as was evidenced in the polling results. That change is critical because our health is in the balance, and a critical element of health is having joy. The fourth piece that I want to urge you to is a sense of passion and boldness. Now, I don't worry about passion. That's why we're here. That's why we crossed the country to get here. That's why we stayed and engaged in all these conversations. But passion and boldness. But boldness in being in the conversation with folks who may not agree with us. Boldness in listening. Bold in inviting new people in. Bold in making this one-on-one. We are the best messengers in relationship. Now, ironically, and much to my surprise, I'm a Catholic sister, so Pope Francis has said that those elements of perseverance, joy, and a sense of humor, passion, and boldness, those are elements of holiness in the 21st century. Now, when I look at our nation, I think, what do we need? We need a bit of solidarity. We need a bit of community. We need a bit of the common good where we care for each other. So, in a secular sort of way, I call you to holiness, to being a part of the common good to make our nation great again. That is the greatness that we are, is where everyone has a piece. So, unencumbered by any authority at all, let me commission each one of you, to be a missionary. To be a missionary because our healthcare is in the balance. Talk to everyone you know and talk to people you don't know. Speak up in the grocery store line. Speak up every place, but listen. Ask. Say, what I often do is say, I am really worried about healthcare in our nation. What do you think? And then listen to the response. And then pass what you hear on to families so we can magnify it. Because what I know is we're the seed of the new tomorrow. We can make that change happen. Are you willing? Are you in? Okay, let us go forth with joy and make change happen so that when we meet a year from now, then we can talk about all those details of legislation because we'll be able to make something happen. Yes.